Hello everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Magic Square MS-B52 Munitioner, their version of a Legends class Swindle. Go ahead and put them off to the side real quick. And by the way, this is of course the Toon version. We could look at the box, which is the toy style box, which yeah, that's the whole thing. But yeah, you can see them there, kind of a nice bit of artwork of them posing, and Munitioner, and it warning, not for under 3, age 16 plus, because it's for not for children at all. Magic Square in a kind of Transformers font and everything. You got Magic Square, you got a nice picture, the picture mirrored over here. On this side, you just have Munitioner and some more warnings and recycling and all that stuff. On the bottom, you have another warning and a barcode. And on the back, you have some tech specs and, you know, right there, and some a nice bit of artwork of Munitioner driving around near a space bridge. And of course, in the box, you have the instructions, which are mostly helpful, I guess. There's a couple spots where it's like not totally clear how you're supposed to do it. And it feels like a couple times they're making things more complicated than they need to be. And the collector's card, which, you know, nice plastic, nice, again, the picture on the box, and of course in the back, outline of the Jeep mode and some tech specs and all that. Yep. So yeah, Munitioner. See, right there. Looking up close here, you can see, yeah, his face is not quite Toon accurate, because even though it's the Toon version, because yeah, then rather than, you know, his face being gray, it's just the same color as the rest of his helmet. But he still got nicely picked out purple eyes. You have the opaque blue windshield here, you know, the purple chest, the Jeep waist and all that stuff. You got the little wheels on the shoulders. His back, you know, got a bit of, you know, the bumper and everything, but, you know, it looks mostly right. You're getting black legs. You got some yellow down here, the feet. You got some fake wheels again on the outsides of each leg. You have the real wheels folded up back here, and you have the fake wheels on the inside of the leg, and yeah. See the steering wheel right there too. Yeah, some people complain about that little black splotch, but that's kind of the steering wheel, and it's one of those things, paint, and because of where it moves, it is and everything. I don't think it would work very well if it was painted. So that's the thing. Yeah, so yeah, it's a pretty darn good looking robot, to be honest. Kind of, you know, this bit's a little weird just because it's you know, a bit of a angle, but kind of how it transforms makes that necessary. Shoulders are kind of sitting actually kind of low right now. They don't have to be, but I just kind of, yeah, it looks pretty good overall. Just kind of weird how, you know, because yeah, the toy style version, aka the IDW version, because I don't know where that came from. I suspect someone at Magic Square kind of just, they saw the Studio Ox illustrations, assumed they're comics, and then IDW, yeah, some weird kind of bad kind of weird thing, mistranslation or lost in translation, whatever you want to call it. Well, so yeah, this is nicely picked out, considering, you know, there's moving parts on here. This is nicely picked out and painted nice and even and everything. But yeah, it's just weird. The face is just the wrong one. It's literally the wrong one. I'll even confirm that pretty shortly, because I'll be getting the IDW version for mine is coming soonish. But he does have a couple accessories that do work in this mode. He has his spare tire thing, which back here there's a slot right here on the bumper, which there's a little tab on this thing. You just kind of get that on there. Cooperate. I want to cooperate right now. There we go. Goes on there. Holds pretty securely. You know, holds on like it's supposed to. This other thing is, yeah, this head platform doesn't like to stay where it's supposed to. That's a little annoying. He has his cannon, which, yeah, that's the other thing. He's got, you can mount it on either arm. It's got tabs on both sides. You know, you can mount it on either arm, like so. Or if you want to do different things, there's another tab right here and a slot right here. And again, on either arm, you can go ahead and, yeah, tab that in right there, like that on the top. So you can do either one of those, which is real nice. He also has his little rocket pistol thing. I'm not sure, but you can just hold that one just fine in his hand, just like that. So, yeah, there you go. You got some of the accessories there. I'll get to the other ones in the other modes as they're necessary. Because as far as I can tell, there's one other thing which I cannot figure out a place to put. I was hoping there's maybe a storage slot, but it seems to me not be the case, unfortunately. Yeah, overall, it's a really good looking robot. Looks pretty close to cartoon accurate. Maybe there's a couple little nitpicks you might be able to make, but it's pretty close. And yeah, I might swap the heads or something, because yeah, I'm probably not going to keep the cartoon version at the end, but yeah. Posability, heads on the ball joints, so left and right. You got up, way up. And a little bit down, you got that waggle. Also, of course, the platform does that because it doesn't hold in securely. So it sucks. Ball jointed shoulders, you got full rotation there. You got outward because of transformation. You all also can shift the shoulder up and down a bit. You do have bicep rotation. Elbows are pretty well ranged, over 90 degrees. The wrists are on ball joints, but because of molding and stuff, and pretty much only acts as a swivel. But you do have a swivel right there. The waist can swivel, pretty unhindered. There's an ab crunch, pretty significant ab crunch as well. The hips, you can, again, because the whole thing where part of the waist comes with the hip, so you got, that pretty far forward. You can see that. Backwards, not so much. It's actually stops dead right there. Outward, let's get this out of the way, and you get that much outward, so full splits. There is a thigh swivel, nice and unhindered. Double jointed knee, which works real nice. And the feet down here, you got ankle tilt, so you got actually kind of extreme ankle tilt. This part, the toe itself by itself can rotate as well, but it's pretty much for transformation, but it's useful here. And because of that, you also got some extension joint right there, and you can might be able to help with some poses. And on top of that, this is on a hinge, so you can get a bit of a toe joint as well. So there's a decent amount of posability on the feet, a surprising amount. I was actually kind of shocked how posable it was on the feet and everything. It's actually really nicely posable, and it looks good and all that stuff. But also, so you can see the finish is also Magic Square nylon plastic. So yeah, there's that whole thing. So some people might not like that, but that's just what Magic Square does. Yeah, real quick comparisons. Here he is with the Magic Square version of Breakdown. Just to show that. Here's Magic Square's version of Scrapper. A bit taller, a bit bulkier. Kind of makes sense though. Kang Toys version of Dive Bomb, just for that, a bit taller, just a smidge, just a bit taller, not a whole lot, but a smidge. Here's the Iron Factory version of Swindle, I believe Bazooka Hound or something like that. Yeah, Iron Factory version, which is actually close to the toy version. Probably the robot the closest to toy that a lot of the third parties have gotten, just because the toy child style chest and everything. Also significantly shorter and squatter. And finally, here he is with his teammate, Heavy Gunner, their version of Brawl, who is a bit taller. So there you go. There's some comparisons, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy into vehicle mode, which a little involved. Okay, so first get all the accessories off, so the guns and the spare tire all need to be removed, because otherwise they'll be in the way. Now, it's a bit involved. It's not as bad as I thought I was fearing, but it's still a bit more involved. There's, of course, again, instructions do make it sound worse than it is. So first things first, is you want to go ahead and rotate the biceps 180 like that, right? You want to rotate those 180 degrees like that. Go ahead and kick this and untab this and just bring that up like so, and just kind of leave it like that for now. And you can make a GoBot. or Ironhide, yeah. Oh, that's something. But yeah. Take the forearm, and split it right here, like that. Take the fist and rotate it in here, like so. And bring this up against the back of the arm, and then take this flap and bring it up like this. And compress the bicep in like that. Yeah, so again, compress the bicep in, like so. Open up the forearm, like that. Push the fist in, bring this up against there, and then close this up like that, and there you go. And then go ahead and raise these up like that. Take the head here, and bring that back like that. And then you want to go ahead and bring this up, and then yeah, this untab that from there, and then you can bring this will slide forward. Yeah, the front of the chest will slide forward, and go ahead and bring this back like there. That's on a hinge. Bring that back like so. Now right here, you want to go ahead and take these end wheels and kind of flatten them out to the side for now, and just kind of leave them like that for now. Now up here, what you want to do is these panels, you want to go ahead and flatten, fold up into the chest like this. Take this flap and unfold that. The arms, what you want to do here So you rotate them around. You want to get them rotated so that they're sitting inside like this, like that. Make sure use this hinge. You want to make sure this is all the way out. So you want these two tabs kind of like that, more or less. Just kind of sit like that. So it looks like this. Same thing here. Rotate this around. You want to bring this down. It's easiest I find if you kind of do it like this and then bring it down like that and then rest of the way. It just kind of works a little better. You know, take the head here. You're going to head here. You go ahead and take this on the ball joint. You want to fold it flat against that like that on the ball joint, and then fold it in there. Actually, before you fold it in there, I almost forgot. Wrong order. Like that. And you want to take this piece and rotate this 180 degrees. Then fold the head and make sure these are the arms are straightened out so the head can slot nicely between. And then you go ahead and compress this back down like that, right? Now here, what you want to do is take the front of the Jeep and move that out. You can bring this up. This is kind of the weird part, which is you need to have enough space to get these in, because these will tab in underneath into those slots, and you have to slot this in and then, yes, push it all down like that, right? And down here at the wheels, what you want to do is the wheels are on little hinges, and you want to bring those out, so kind of straighten it out so that hole is lined up with the pin like that on both wheels. So, and then this part you want to go ahead and bring that down like that. Then you can bring this up, and this, okay, so this tab will go into there's a tab here, which will go into a slot there. This will kind of slot underneath the hood, and this will kind of slot in right here. There's a little gap right here. This will slot in. This peg right here will go into the hole on the wheel. So get all that squared away, like so, like that. It'll look like that. Same thing on this side. Bring this up and tab that in and everything, and peg it in like that, and make sure this is all slotted back like that. And then right here, go ahead and take this thing right here. I want to fold this part down, the little part with the winch bit. I want to fold that down and then fold the whole bumper up, and it'll sit like that. This right here, you can go ahead and bring this up and, you know, back like this, slide it forward, and then right here, the double hinge, you want to bring that up like that. So it looks like that. Then right here, I'm going to go ahead and rotate the waist 180, and take the little steering wheel. We want to get that out. It can be a little bit of pain. And get that out like this, and then go ahead and bring this up into the Jeep bits, I guess. Make sure you're doing it. Again, there's multiple hinges. You want to just kind of get that up in there, and like so, that. Right. Now down here at the legs, what you want to do here is rotate the legs outward 180 like this at the thigh swivel, right? Right? Want to get those rotated. Then right here, you want to take these wheels and unfold those like so. And then go ahead and right here, this front panel is going to untab. Untab this front panel and this side panel like that. You want to untab those, bring that up, bring this back, fully extend that, bring that back, and fold that up like that. Just get that out of the way. This will get that one out of the way. Same thing on this side. I want to untab these, bring that up, bring this one up, fully extend it, collapse that up, and just kind of get that up and out of the way. Now down here, what you want to do here is get this piece right here. You want to take this and rotate this piece 180 like that. Right there, this is on a rotation. And this right here, go ahead and take the foot and extend it out, rotate the toe, fold it up, and then bring it back up into there like that. There's a little slot and tab right there on the foot. That's just, you want to get that part done now. So then over here, rotate this 180, get this folded out so you can rotate the foot, fold it up, and then tab that in right there. Now over here, what you want to do is this thing right here, you want to unfold this. It's on a slider as well. You want to unfold this And so unfold it like here, slide it up, and then hook it over this tab right there, like that. Same thing over here. Bring it out, slide it up, and hook it over the tab. And it's kind of a little scary because you're putting a lot of pressure on the plastic like that. So anyway, from here, we go ahead and this whole piece is on a slider. You want to slide that outward, like so. Slide it outward. Slide that outward and start rotating that forward. And you don't want to start hooking anything in it quite yet. But yeah, here you want to take this piece and there's a little flap right here. You want to unfold that and unfold this on this side right here. You want to unfold that too. Get those ready. And then right here, you see that these little black pieces, you want to get those folded out like so. This you want to go ahead and start rotating like so. And again, rotate like so. This right here will collapse in, and there's a tab on it. There's a tab right here which will go into one of the slots on the legs, and they are staggered from one another. So bring that forward and tab that in to the leg. So bring that forward and tab that into the leg. One of them is more stubborn than the other. And you go ahead and bring these together like this. You can bring these forward. These will fold in, and these little hinges will go into these little holes for them, like so. Bring that together. Now, before you actually tab everything together, there's another piece. This little piece right here that's included as well. This is a little tab things right there. You want to, there's a slots right here. You want to go ahead and slot this in between. Play nice. Yeah, slot this in between like that. And then go ahead and compress the legs together. Yeah, bring the legs together. Good chance it's not going to fully come together until you get everything. Now you're going to go ahead and take these outer pieces and start sliding them back in. There's tabs right here which will go into slots like that. And then right here, there's a peg which will go into a little hole. Not necessarily you can see it, but there's little holes on the side of the waist. There's a little peg there, and this will also hook over these hook tabs as well. Once all lined up, it will just hook and peg in like that, and then hook that in, peg it in. That. Okay, those are all set properly, and then so just gives you a chance to go ahead and push that all together right there. And then these pieces right here, there's little tabs right here which will go into slots on the backs of the legs like that. Just go flat like that. Sure that's all angled properly. And then of course the accoutrement. Take the wheel here. There's the tabs right here. This will just tab over like this. Make sure that if you notice the wheel is got a bit of a thicker part, make sure the thicker part's on top. Yeah, like that. And then of course this can peg in. There's a peg hole right there. Peg hole, just kind of peg that in onto the gun. And then take the handgun, and this can go into this hole. It might seem a little too big at first, but if you keep pushing, it'll eventually kind of hold itself in place. And just kind of do probably a couple little last second checks. Some of the stuff doesn't tab in as well, like particularly right here. And then there you go. There's that unfolded, fold itself back out. There you go. That's Munitioner in his vehicle mode. And yeah, it is once again a yellow Jeep with a purple hood, which is cartoon accurate, but not toy accurate, because again, the toy never turned into a Jeep. And if they really want to be toy accurate, they'd have a completely different mold, but they do not. So anyway, you can see that, you got the purple, purple hood. You got the nicely picked out headlights there. Again, in the kind of the same opaque blue as the windshield. You got some gunmetal rims. You got it. It's a kind of neat, clever touch. It's like the seats. You got the little back of the seats are flip out, but the legs actually kind of look like the actual seats. You got a little steering wheel. I mean, there's no floor, but hey, considering everything, it's pretty good, cool. You know, the spare tire, you got the little guns right there, which can actually rotate, you know, left and right and up and down a bit because of how they work. And of course, he does roll pretty well, considering, you know, one of these wheels actually fold and everything for the transformation. That's, you know, pretty darn good. And of course, you can do the whole thing where it's like, hey, look, you can, I guess, flatten that out, although it's not that great because, you know, in the real life, these Jeeps have you know, they often would flatten the windshields down, but you can't really do that forward like they would. But yeah, overall, it's pretty good. Although the first time I remember that, I think it's really easy to get things out of alignment because the first time I transformed this, like somehow like one thing was off and it caused the whole thing to sit like crooked, which was really strange. the whole Jeep mode was like sitting just like off kilter. So that was interesting. There's that. Yeah. Overall, pretty solid little Jeep. And the steering wheel, I guess you can say, is adjustable. Yeah, it looks really good. It's nice and small. I've seen some people complain about the transformation, but honestly, it's really not as bad as I was not as bad as I was expecting. The transformation is it's somewhat complicated, but like the first, again, I feel like the instructions make it feel more complicated. So after that first time, I just blew right through it. It's like, okay, yeah, this is actually not that hard. So there you go. So quick comparisons. Again, here he is with Magic Square's version of Breakdown. Just, you know, scale is all sorts of messed up because, again, Jeeps are supposed to be pretty small. Oh, it's somewhat close. Magic Square's version Scrapper. Again, scale is actually, I think, almost close on this. Weirdly enough, depending if this is like a single driver thing, then yeah, it's actually fairly close. This means this would be a small thing. Of course, here's the Iron Factory version of Swindle. They're very different vehicle. Very different. Still, same color scheme, mostly the same color scheme. And of course, his teammate, Heavy Gunner, Brawl. Yep, again, way out of scale with each other, but still look pretty good together. And there you go. At that. Yeah. Good vehicle mode overall. And I will be honest, I kind of like the transformation. Yeah, it's a lot of parts moving. Some of it's a little more of an annoyance than other parts, but honestly, it works pretty well. So go ahead and do the combined mode now, which is not too difficult. There's just a couple things. So first of all, of course, remove the tire, remove this. So you got to split the legs again and get this stuff all untabbed and out of the way, and then go ahead and bring that back together. Now, these you want to go ahead and flatten those down. I'm going to go ahead and untab this so you can take the front part and move this, get the steering wheel folded back up into its home like that. Then take this and just put it back in position and retab that like so. Retab and repeg, all that stuff. Get that all squared away. Get that all squared away, and then take the windshield and just bring it down like this and slide it back up like that. Just bring it and flatten it down like that. I want to bring in the foot, which, yep, it is the same color as the rest of him. This, of course, you're going to split those. Yeah, I know, I started to put those back together. I probably shouldn't have, but split those, and there's little slots right there. There's a T-tab right there. Let's get that in there. Those slots. And bring them together, and push it all back together. Like that, push it all back together. Make sure it's all pushed back together, and I suspect this is going to have to fold back eventually because I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work later. It'll probably reveal, and there might be something here because like I'm noticing, I don't know, there might be something going on here, but I'm not sure how that's going to work in the end. But it might be that it folds down. But anyway, that's the foot mode, or a foot mode. I'll get into that a little bit after comparisons and whatnot. Yep, foot mode. Yep, leg mode. It's see that? You know, it's pretty much a Jeep on a foot. Of course, there's tilting and whatnot. It's going to be a thing, and clearly we got some. There's definitely some articulation that's going to be very useful for final thing. But some comparisons, I guess this is kind of a weird one because I didn't do this last time. I probably should have, but yeah, this thereabouts. I'm not going to get the whole thing out, but yeah, thereabouts would be, Minosaur, foot mode, or leg, whatever. Here's the Magic Square Scrapper leg. You can see it's a smidge taller, so yep. Here's the Kang Toys Tantrum as a leg. And yeah, looking at where the ports are, where will be or everything, it's again smidge taller thing. And here's the Iron Factory version. A tiny bit shorter, but yeah. And of course, yeah, Brawl, Heavy Gunner. See, I'm worried about that down the line because it's supposed to fully tab together and doesn't. And I'm worried that's going to be a problem connection at some point, but we'll see. There you go. That's leg mode. Yeah, but there is an alternate configuration. An alternate configuration for this guy, which is it's just from the top side. So what you do here is you just get that out of the way. You get this, untab these parts. You bring this, rotate this around, bring this back in, and then retab this and all that stuff right here. There we go. Tab this and of course flatten that back out. And of course this right here, you can take the wheel here and retab it in. Although apparently you're supposed to do it like this now. So I guess it's just a black circle, and there you go. Yeah. So then it's a little more like the toy like this because you got the purple square right there. So it's a bit more like the toy in a sense. I don't know. I think this is pretty close to it, but yeah, I'm personally not feeling it. Even if I tend to prefer the toy style overall, I feel like the other way around just looks better visually. But it's one of those. I think the problem here is not so much. It's more or less this part right here, the middle part. This kind of doesn't look that great to me. That's the big problem here. You can't really connect it. Well, maybe you can. I don't know, but yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing. It's just kind of It's just mostly because of this middle area. If it wasn't for that, I'd be better. I find it better, but as it stands, because this area, I feel kind of like this part's a little bit of an afterthought. So I'd probably just configure it the other way. Unless, of course, this is actually supposed to be the front the other way. Maybe it's this was the whole time I wasn't looking, because who knows? Again, they don't have instructions for the combined modes of these. It's probably going to come with the last member or something, or Onslaught, depending on how that goes. Might be this is supposed to be the way it's supposed to look in the front, in which case, okay. Actually, I don't think so because of where that tabs in. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So, yeah, this is it. Unfortunately, at this point, I can find nowhere to put these. Again, there's no extra peg holes or tabs or anything. Funny enough, much like the Brawl, you can peg this right here, but again, that doesn't help with those at all. You can't find anywhere to tab this in or anything. Not that I could find anyway. Same with this, no peg holes or anything to tab this in. So who knows? Maybe those will go somewhere. Maybe they'll just be like a lot of Magic Square stuff and go off to the side. But yeah, that's the alternate leg mode. It's fine. I guess you'll just bring Brawl back in just to. Yeah, so that's a bit different. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep it the other way personally, even though that might be one of those miss and match things. But oh no, who cares? It's mine. It's more me for me, not you. But yeah. But thankfully, getting from alt mode to combined mode once again is pretty easy. It's mostly just kind of a smidge of untransforming, and then yeah, it's a little more difficult than Brawls, but not a whole lot more. But overall, toy is pretty solid. The robot mode looks fantastic. The alt mode looks great. Some clever reuse of parts there. Again, using the legs themselves as the seat cushions, I guess, is kind of clever. The fact it's got two different configurations available for leg mode is great. The transformation itself is fiddly in spots, but not as bad as I was led to believe. It's still manageable. Again, the field instructions make it feel worse than it actually is. But I like it. I think I like it more than Brawl. Maybe just the new thing. But The brawls, I feel like the brawl's pretty great. This one's pretty great too. Swindle's always a fan favorite. We'll see how it goes down the line. Pretty soon I'll be talking about the IDW, the quote unquote IDW version, which does have actual differences this time. So that might be a bit longer, but yeah. Again, about $50 or so from like Show Z and whatnot. I think it's worth it at that price. You're paying closer to $80 from like a domestic retailer. So just an FYI on that. But yeah, $50, he's a pretty good, solid buy. I think he's worth picking up at that point, particularly, if you like the Combaticons, or if you just like Swindle by himself, because I know a lot of people do. He's a good solo purchase. So, there you go. I hope you found that informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, co-host.org/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. And I'll see you next time with another video review.